Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I love saying good afternoon because it's not morning, but if it was morning, I would just say good morning. But then again, wherever you may be watching this in the world, it still may be morning. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And we have the great opportunity, the pleasure, and the God assignment to render hope and encouragement to you, our audience across the world. And I always say I'm grateful to God that I am his instrument in doing so, in spreading hope. For the month of December, I said that not just I said, but Holy Spirit led me to do a month of nothing but good news, because this world is so full of bad news, negative news, hopeless news, news that just will take you to a dark place. But aside from all of that bad news, there is good news and there is hope. So I'm just one person that's going to bring it to you across this platform. And then my guest today is going to bring to you good news as well. I'll introduce her in a moment, but I just want to know if you would just consider going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. Plug my name in or Trophy of Life's name in and subscribe to our channel, because you become a part of our team to spread the message of hope and encouragement across the country. So would you do that for me? I will greatly appreciate it. Well, today I have the opportunity of welcoming back a guest that was on the broadcast, was it about a year ago or a little over a year, for my Project 365, and she brought some great news then. And today she's going to come back and share with us additional great news that she has accomplished for the year 2022 in the person of Margaret Heighton. This woman right here is full of love. She exudes love. And I love it because it's not just about her. It's not just about, what is that called? No end to love. It's not just about her culture. And you can see she's a different culture than I. And it's not just about my culture, but I love it because she just gives out the love, and God uses her to do so. And I want you, our audience, to listen to the accomplishments that she has done outside of her state, outside of her family, outside of the country, but showing the love of God. Margaret, thank you so very much for joining me again. I so appreciate you. I appreciate your smile, your energy, and I appreciate you being used by God to do what you do. But you have the platform today. Share with us some good news.
Thank you, Portia. It's so good to be back. 2022 has been a very eventful year for No End to Love. We started the year in April. Well, we started earlier than that, but preparations for our trip in April, I was able to go to Kenya this year, and I took with me my oldest daughter and my youngest son. I have 7 children, so I left a few behind, but I also took my oldest granddaughter. So there was 4 in the family that went, and we had a wonderful time together and got to accomplish a lot of good things over in Kenya. And one of the families that we met was a family of young girls who were left by their parents by death about 10 years ago. And Eunice was only 12 at the time of her mother's death and 14 when her father passed away a couple of years later. And she has kept her sisters together. There's 6 of them, and she's kept them together and working together as a unit. And they've gone out and worked as farm laborers and everything. But we gave Eunice the opportunity to go back to school this year and finish her education that she left behind, in making sure that the rest of the girls got an education. And And we've given them a solar system and a rain harvesting system since then. And we're in the process of building a chicken coop for their chickens and giving them a rooster to go along with their chickens and their chicks. So this family have been just amazing in what they accomplished with so little. They did manage to hang on to the family estate, but not an estate, but a plot of land with 2 very rundown houses on it. And anyway, lots has been done, and they are so grateful. And we've gotten community over in Kenya involved as well, which is our ultimate goal, is Kenyan supporting Kenyans. And so that was kind of the highlight of my trip over there. There was a lot of other good things that went on, but that was a very touching time that we spent with Eunice and her family. After we got home, so while I was over there, the other thing that I did was I met somebody who was very good with rain harvesting systems and solar systems and other things. And Daniel has become a friend and a partner since we came home. And he started out in May by building a tap stand for our spring. And then after May, guys, and then he started installing solar systems and stuff. So we were able to get a grant that I applied for just before we left for Kenya. And after we got home from Kenya, we found out that we had received it. And since then, we received a second grant from the same foundation. And because of their grant and some other very generous donations from a lady who I met on the neighborhood app, whatever that, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, we have installed since then, we've installed total of 21 solar systems for families and 18 rain harvesting systems for the families. The other 3 families already had rain harvesting systems. We're in the process of finishing that up with the second grant. So that is how the year is ending, which is just wonderful news. We also, and we've had 2 babies born into the No End to Love family in Kenya this year. And we took books over when we went in April, and those were distributed to several institutions, but the distribution, Timothy took care of the distribution to Sikbar Primary School in June. And they added a ton of children's books to their library. And then the other thing, in June, we started work on the rehabilitation of Olakari Springs. This is something that I've been trying to accomplish since 2018. And so it was wonderful to be able to see them really digging in and getting clean water to this. And so that took June and July, and by the end of July, they recommissioned the spring and turned it over to the community with new tap stand and trough for the cattle. And the community was just thrilled. And I was able, by technology, to be present when they recommissioned and had the ladies express their gratitude for having clean water accessible to them. And it's still not like turning a tap on. They were still able to turn a tap, but they had to trek and then they have to carry. And
Mm.
so, but they're just thankful that it's clean and not dirty water anymore. A lot of people became sick from the spring over the years because of its condition. So that was, and then we also started work with an orphanage in Kesey while we were there, and we had installed a water tank last fall in 2021 for them. And when we got over there, we discovered that the farmyard was just the tank, when it let water out, just ran down, and if it rained, it just ran down this muddy mess. Anyway, we provided funds for them to concrete that in, and so now they have a good system to take care of. And then we also started a farm project with them to raise money to support the orphanage, and that is ongoing. In July, we paid for 47 students, and in September, we paid for another 50, the same students added a few. We've got 2 students that have graduated from the program, and one of them qualified for university assistance from the Kenyan government, and we're picking up the other costs, and he has started his university career. And then we have another girl who graduated from secondary school, and Shaylin has started a program in something in the tourist industry, but she's getting technical training so that she can find herself a job after she's done. And these Shaylin will be the first one that has in her family who has gone on, and so it's exciting to see them making progress.
That's good.
Then and we've had good support. The grant made a huge difference, but we've also raised almost $1,800 with our Savers drives that we continue to do. My garage is packed full right now, and we will be having another drive in January. So that's how we continue on. But one of our next big project is Dukamoja. When we were there in Dukamoja, I stood up in front of a community of, I don't know, it's felt like thousands, but maybe it was just hundreds of people. And we committed to building a community rain harvesting system for them. One of the members of the community is donating the land for it to be built on. And but that's my next big challenge, is to raise $60,000 to build this, and I'm determined to have it accomplished in 2023. So that's our next big accomplishment to make happen. So that's our good news. It's just been good to see the support that we've had, and that we've been able to touch the lives of so many in the community over there.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So if you or your organization, No End to Love, if it were not for you bringing the solar lighting or the rain harvesting, what would happen? What were the times like over there before you did what you did?
Well, Kenya, because it sits right on the equator, there's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. And so once 6 o'clock in the evening hits, 6 to 7, it starts getting dark. And And if they don't have lighting inside the house, they depend on battery lights on their heads or something, but not all families can even afford that. But the school children don't have time to really concentrate on their studies because they come home from school and everything's taken up with getting ready for the evening meal and fetching water and doing those kinds of tasks. And so without solar lighting in the house, they aren't able to study and read and take care of their schoolwork. And that is what, you know, we take turning on a light switch for granted over here. And
Yes.
And so many don't have access because there's not out in the rural areas, there is not any infrastructure built to take care of lights and electricity being brought to the homes. And if they don't have a rain harvesting system attached to their house, they have to trek to the spring and or another water source, which usually is not clean water.
And about how far is that? Is that a good walk?
Oh, that could be 1 to 2 miles that they have to go. Some further, but it can be quite a trek for some of them, depending on where the water source is. But 2 to 3 kilometers is fairly common that they have to walk to get water.
That is amazing. And we drink water and we throw it out, drink water and throw it out. And yeah. So we just have to be great in America, just be grateful for what we have, but don't take it for granted for what we have as well. Because there are many
and
countries.
with the drought situation out here in the West, we're learning that we can't take it, you know, we can't use water the way we've always used water. And we need to be much more aware and cognizant of that. But they have health problems too, because they don't stay dehydrated or hydrated enough and stuff, because they don't, drinking water isn't a common thing. And,
So,
and it's often bottled water. Like if they go to the local market and they'll buy bottled water in order to have clean water at a church function or something.
So to our audience who may be listening, or I'm not going to say who may be, who will listen, what are your top 3 prayer requests for the work that you do? The top 3 prayer requests for the work that you do in Kenya or elsewhere?
That the rains come in Kenya. That the rains come. That's my top priority, that the climate cycles start coming. And my second prayer request would be to have the people truly believe that they can be self-reliant and begin to take steps towards that. Overcoming that belief that they either aren't enough or there isn't enough resources, that, you know, that it can't be done, is very common over there. Just overcoming that mental state is important. And my third prayer request would be that those who resonate with my mission, our mission, that they choose to make a difference by donating and being involved in some way to further our mission over there. There's so much need, and
wow.
And I'm taking care of only a very small corner of Kenya.
Yeah, that is wonderful. That's a wonderful work. And I know it takes special people. I know all of God's people are special, but it takes a different type of being to actually do the work that you do, or and not just you, but anyone who is dedicated to working in other countries, doing the work in other countries, spending their own money to get to other countries, and then doing the work to get a grant. Because grants now, they are really hard to receive, because they're so not strategic. They're very
Restricted.
intricate with their work. Yeah, and you say the wrong thing, even though it's right in your heart, you say the wrong thing, that could just they can just reject it.
Yeah. This little foundation that I have is local. We only live a few blocks apart, actually, when I found out about them, but it's so much more relaxed. But their grants are small. They're not going to be able to. They're going to be able to continue my self-reliance project of solar and rain harvesting. Then we're going on to do gardens and goats and chickens and stuff.
See,
you know,
and talk about goats and chickens. Who talks about goats and chickens? And they're valuable, right?
Oh yeah,
in the country.
Yeah, yes. Like, so my community rep had a motorbike accident on his way to taking care of things, and for an event he was doing, and anyway, he said, I need to go back to the doctor and get checked out, but I haven't gone yet because I need to sell 2 goats in order to afford, you know, he says, I left unpaid my medical bill from last time and I've got to go back. And so I have to sell goats in order to have the money to take. And some of them are blessed with animals, and so they can do that, but others aren't. And so goats, there's another foundation over there called the Goat Foundation, and their sole mission is to give a pair of goats to as many widows in Kenya as possible. That's their sole mission. And in order,
how much are goats over there?
$30 to $40 a pair, you know.
For a goat?
It varies depending on the size of the goat, whether the mother's pregnant or, you know,
well,
but
I tell you what, you can look forward to my donation, because I want to supply a couple of goats for a widow. So that, you know, that's my heartbeat. So you can look for that from me, a widow to a widow. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all of that good stuff.
In fact, but I've got a lady who does work in Uganda, and we just Heather met her once, and we haven't done a lot, but she specifically sent a request for $65 to buy a goat for a widow, and so, and I haven't funded that yet. So
now, you know, and we're going to add that to the prayer.
Waiting is waiting.
Waiting for a goat. Now, you know, but you know what? We're going to make it happen. Thank you, Margaret. You know, at the very beginning of some of our broadcasts, I would say there are times when all of what we say may not be significant to people or meaningful to people, but from A to Z, we bring everything. And this today was something that a lot of people may not be interested in, but there's a lot of people who have the heart for people. I know my spiritual father, Archbishop Ralph Dennis, he does work in Africa as well. And another friend of mine, she's gonna get me for forgetting her name. I see
Vicky.
No, Christy. Yeah, she does work in different countries. So it's amazing how it connects with the heart of an individual when you're given to that type of work. So that's going to be one of my prayers as well, that this resonates with people to want to give. We have enough. For us, we have enough clothes, we have enough makeup, we have enough shoes, we have enough we don't need any more cards, unless the other ones sewer up, but we don't need any more cards. We don't need anything else to go in our houses. If anything, we're trying to downsize. Let's take the money and give to someone who really is dedicated to doing this type of work. All right. Thank you again. I do thank you. Now, is your husband still there? Swing that camera over.
No.
Oh, he's gone. Okay. We are grateful for your involvement, for our interaction. I'm so glad about it. What we would love for you to do, share this, tag and share. We're all about good news, and this is good news. Bravo to you, Margaret. Bravo to you for the work that you do. And I know you do not do it for the accolades of men and women. This is for the glory and honor of God. And again, give us the name of your organization.
It's No End to Love, and our website is noendtolove.org. And we're also on Facebook under the No End to Love tag. And from now until the end of the year, anybody that sets up a monthly recurring donation on Facebook, Facebook is matching that amount after their second donation. So there's a specific fundraiser on my Facebook page that facilitates that if anybody is interested. And again, monthly donations do not need to be large in order to make a difference. Small amounts congregated with other small amounts ends up making a huge difference. And if you can give larger, bless you. If you can only give $5 a month, that is making a difference, and know that. So that it doesn't, the amount that you open up, that you give, only means that is what you are limited to. Everybody has different abilities, and only you know what your best gift is. And so when you open up, and if it's not No End to Love, find somebody else. Everybody deserves to have the experience of being part of making a difference in this world by giving to an organization or being part of an organization in some way.
Yeah, that's the love of God right there. Yeah. What you just said, if it's not to you, give it to someone with this type of work that they are doing. Only God child can say that. Only one of God's children could say that. Thank you again. I appreciate you. Look for my goat money for my widow. For my widow, if that's happening. So again, audience, I love you. God bless you. Don't forget, we're filling the month of December with nothing but good news. So if you know someone, whether it's a senior citizen, an adult, child, teenager, boy, girl, man, woman, as long as they have a message of good news, something that's happened to them, something that they want to do, something that they've been delivered from, something that they're excited about, it's good news. All right, let's overtake this broadcast or this platform for the month of December with good news. God bless you. I love you. Until we meet again, be blessed.
Love you, Portia.
Love you, Margaret.